Today we will know more about our beloved moon. First, how does it shine? The moon does not shine on its own, instead, it reflects sunlight. The moon's surface is not luminous like the sun, rather, it reflects sunlight that falls upon it. This reflected sunlight is what we perceive as moonlight. The amount of light reflected by the moon varies depending on its phase. For example, during a full moon, when the Earth is between the sun and the moon, the entire illuminated side of the moon is visible from Earth, and it appears brightest. During other phases, such as a new moon, the illuminated side of the moon faces away from Earth, and it appears dark because very little reflected sunlight reaches us. Why does the moon appear red or orange sometimes? The moon can appear red or orange during certain circumstances, and this phenomenon is often referred to as a blood moon or harvest moon. There are a few reasons why the moon might take on these hues. 1. Atmospheric scattering. When the moon is low on the horizon, it appears redder or orange due to the same phenomenon that causes sunsets and sunrises to display warm colors. This effect is caused by the scattering of shorter wavelength light, blue and violet, by particles and molecules in the Earth's atmosphere. To know more about scattering of light, go through my video on scattering of light where we have also discussed about the color of sky in sunset and sunrise. Link is in the description below. When the moon is near the horizon, its light has to pass through a thicker layer of the atmosphere, increasing the scattering of shorter wavelengths and allowing longer wavelength light, red and orange, to dominate, giving the moon its characteristic color. 2. Eclipse. During a lunar eclipse, when the Earth passes between the sun and the moon can take on a reddish hue. This occurs because, during a total lunar eclipse, the Earth blocks direct sunlight from reaching the moon. Instead, some sunlight refracts through the Earth's atmosphere, causing it to bend and scatter. The longer wavelengths, red and orange, of light are less scattered by the atmosphere, so they reach the moon and give it a reddish glow. 3. Dust and particles in the atmosphere. Natural events such as volcanic eruptions or wildfires can inject particles into the atmosphere. These particles can scatter shorter wavelengths of light, allowing longer wavelengths to dominate and causing the moon to appear red or orange. Overall, the color of the moon depends on various atmospheric conditions and the position of the moon relative to the observer and the sun. Why does moon appear big sometimes? The moon can appear larger at certain times due to an optical illusion known as the moon illusion. This phenomenon occurs when the moon is near the horizon, typically during moonrise or moonset. There are a few reasons why the moon appears larger in these situations. 1. Atmospheric magnification. When the moon is near the horizon, it is viewed through a greater thickness of the Earth's atmosphere compared to when it is overhead. This atmospheric layering can cause the moon to appear larger due to atmospheric magnification, which makes objects near the horizon look larger than when they are higher in the sky. 2. Comparison with surroundings. When the moon is near the horizon, it is often viewed in proximity to trees, buildings, or other objects on the horizon. These objects provide visual cues for our brains to compare the size of the moon, making it appear larger in relation to familiar surroundings. 3. Psychological factors. There are also psychological factors at play. When we see the moon near the horizon, our brains interpret it as being farther away and larger than when it is higher in the sky. This perception is influenced by our brain's expectation of the moon's size relative to other objects in the environment. It's important to note that the moon's actual size does not change. Rather, it is the way we perceive its size that varies depending on its position in the sky and the surrounding landscape. This phenomenon contributes to the visual fascination and perceived beauty of the moon when it appears large and low in the sky. Small bonus for everyone before we bid farewell. Astronomers have discovered that the moon is currently moving away from the Earth by 3.8 centimeters every year. Well, that's it for today. Subscribe for more mind-boggling facts and knowledge.